Hello and welcome back to episode 57 of FPL Apprentice. Still the only podcast and series that delves into the minds of the former world number one, Mr. Matthew Corbridge, who is going to get us all our first top 10k finishes, or my first top 10k finish. You might have finished there already. Matt, obviously missed you last week. How are you, pal? How was your
Yeah,
week
all
been?
good, all good. Sorry about that. A little bit unprofessional there. Like I was having a bit of a confidence booster.
Hey, mate, you smash away. I'm just jealous I've only got the water.
I'm feeling good, man. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I've we when we caught up last, I'd had a Bruno captaincy absolutely smash it out the park for me. I'd built up my rank to about 350k, and I think your words were "Don't fuck it up now." And I've had two red arrows in a row, so not great from an FPL perspective, but in the real world, my team are 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League, and I've just beat Real Madrid in the Champions League. So yeah, football wise, pretty good, pal. Pretty good. What about you?
Yeah. No, I mean, like from an FPL point of view, I've got two green arrows in a row. I think I've moved a net of 5% from like
Wow.
2.3 mil to 2.1, but it's all positive. But yeah, I think I've done some bold moves recently, especially this week. We'll talk about it. Did a hit, getting rid of
Yeah.
a premium player, which I
First hit of the
don't
season?
normally. Yeah, first of the season, yeah, which I
Yeah.
don't normally do. So yeah, I was kind of like really happy to squeeze. I think I got this week. I got a 20k green arrow. So that's a 1% green arrow. Correct, green arrow sitting at 2 million. So just about squeezed it. But yeah, I feel a lot more happy about my team. And
Good.
yeah, I think I've got a few
Good.
questions and challenges for you as well about your decisions. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to giving you some
Yeah.
heat.
Yeah. And there's one move but we'll bring the teams up. There's a move I made which I already have regret about. But do you want to grill me first, or do you want to start?
No, mate, you start. I mean, after all of those words, you're net 2 points ahead of me this week. So, like, I mean,
True. Yeah, it wasn't horrendous. So I'm going into the game week was 509k, small red of 559. I'll start with my transfer, which in all honesty, I did out of nothing but haste and fear of missing out. So my transfer, I sold Haaland and I bought in João Pedro. Uh,
oh,
and
who
I was
who else
listening
did you
to
upgrade? Who
the
did you upgrade with all the funds?
nobody. I had one FT,
Oh,
so
oh,
that was sat in my bank. It just sat. I just left it in my bank, and I was looking at it, and I felt I was listening to a lot of content, and that was my mistake. And all the content was talking about how Southampton get done on the press, and I just watched Liverpool beat them 3-2 because of Southampton making mistakes on the press, and Brighton play that way. So I was looking at it on Friday, going in about 10 minutes into the going 10 minutes into the deadline, and I made the change that late. I'd posted on Twitter with Haaland in my squad, and then I made the transfer after it. And I just fear of missing out. I thought Pedro's gonna smash it, double
and
digit return. Haaland's playing Liverpool, who have got the best defense in the league so far this season.
yeah,
Made that transfer. Now I'm break even, so both got 2 points. But I regret it because I'll be honest, if I had Haaland this week still, I'd probably captain him. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
this week that I'm going to
Yeah.
find out whether
He's the
it's
like yeah. Pedro's got a tough game this game weekend. Yeah, like you said, Haaland's probably the best captaincy option. Palmer probably second. Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a weird move given you didn't need to make it, and
yeah,
really the benefit of getting rid of Haaland is upgrading someone else. So I'll talk about my moves, but I got rid of him because I was going to upgrade someone else to balance my team. I was looking at your
yeah,
team, and like you made that move and still chose to play four at the back.
yeah. But I should have thought about that because Van der Berg was the one. It was
Yeah,
purely
Vandenberg,
based
you would have
around I
benched.
didn't want
Yeah,
to take a hit.
yeah,
Is
Vandenberg,
which,
you would
sorry,
have. Yeah, you would have
I
benched
benched him.
Vandenberg. So I think
I'd have
I
benched
think
Van
yeah,
der Berg.
I think yeah, obviously Haaland wasn't great against Liverpool. I think he was completely marked out the game. I don't think he
I don't
had a
think
single.
I don't think he had a shot.
No, no. I I wouldn't be surprised with his stats. I mean, I haven't looked at them, but I wouldn't be surprised that they were less than zero point 0.3 expected goal involvement, 0.25, something like that. So he was like completely out of the game. So like it was a good game to make that move, but was João Pedro better? I don't know. I would have.
So
in your position, I would have held if you just wanted to make that move. That was a bit of a weird one.
0.2 expected goal involvement for and Pedro didn't have a good game. 0.14 less, lower.
Yeah, I think Pedro's benefit is he is a good player for a good team, but it's not outstanding stats and like huge hauls all the time. There's going to be ups and downs and whatnot, and the benefit from him is his price point really. So it's like who else you can bring in, right? So
he's a long term for me. So I've not just bought him in for the Southampton game. He's a player I wanted to bring in. And
I get it.
So I'll tell you my thought behind. Number one, I didn't want to take a hit, which is why I didn't do another transfer. But I wanted him, and I'd have probably bought him in for Wissa instead of Haaland this week because Wissa's fixtures have turned. But it was FOMO. It was fear of missing out. I was like, well, if I'm going to bring him in anyway, why would I not want him for the Southampton game at home? That's what it was. But I couldn't sell Wissa because he was at home to Leicester. So it ended up being Haaland that I sold him for. And I thought, well, I'll just hold the money because then this week I've got choices. I can upgrade a midfielder. I can move Wissa back to Haaland. So that was the reason behind it. But unsurprisingly, as soon as that Brighton game finished, I was like, I shouldn't have done that. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. Or as soon as he got subbed off. But yeah, I agree. It was a weird move to make.
You pretty net up, I think you probably had the price rise since you made the move. Haaland blanked, right? So and you got a loss of money. So like you didn't get punished, but I think I won't mark that down as your finest moment. But
no, I agree. But on to some of the positives of the game week, because there is at least another 2 cons that I'll come on to as well.
Yeah.
But my differences, my differentials, if I can class them as differentials, seem to be performance. So Aina, I've had since game week 1. And most of the times I've put him on the pitch, he seems to have delivered. So he got a clean sheet and 2 bonus points, heavily involved. Bruno Fernandes, since bringing him in, he's done very well. He got 2 assists, got a total of 9. And Wissa is a bit of a differential for me. Again, he got a goal and 2 bonus points. And the captain pick with Palmer obviously worked out very nicely. A goal, assist, and 3 bonus. Nobody else really delivered in the squad.
He was lucky, I think.
He was. Yeah, the goal was a nice goal, but he's not going to do that every week.
No.
But I'll take the points. But everybody else, I know Gabriel delivered, in all fairness, goal and an assist. 9 points for a defender that got subbed off at half time and conceded 2 goals. I will take all day long. So they went well. What didn't go well is Ederson seems to be dropped. And based on the Liverpool game, I don't feel like Ortega did enough wrong for Ederson to come straight back in. So I've got a goalkeeper problem. This Fabianski could also quite easily become second choice at West Ham again. So I need to keep my eye on that. And annoyingly, got a -1 off my bench as a goalkeeper swap. So that was annoying. And then the big one, yet again, Mohamed Salah is destroying me. So going into the last 2 weekends, Liverpool have been the late game on the Sunday, or playing on the Sunday, and I've gone into the Sunday with a very good green arrow. But not owning Salah has punished me both times that I've ended up on a red arrow after his double-digit returns.
Could you have afforded him this week? Could you got him in?
Yeah, with the Haaland sell, but I'd have took a hit to get him, which is why I didn't do it. But I could have. And I also, for me, or Saka could have been an option. Saka probably would have been my option because I'm looking at Salah thinking, well, he's got City at home, and I know City on a bit of a slump, but City are City, and then he's away at Newcastle. So I'd have probably went Saka over Salah, to be honest. But I didn't want to take a hit for either.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think I get it. I think looking. Question for you, like you mentioned, your goalkeeper's issue with Ederson dropped. This seems, but like we'll see if he comes back. That's happened before in the past, right? So it might just be like a 1-game thing. And Fabianski obviously a -1, but now has a nice run. West Ham do have a nice run. Yeah. I feel like you're itching to make a goalkeeper transfer, aren't you?
I'm not going to do that this week. And to be fair, if Fabianski continues to start for West Ham, I'll just leave him in there.
No. I think you rushing to make a move there would be like it wouldn't be the most sensible, right? Because goalkeepers don't get a huge amount of points, right, unless you kind of strike lucky. So I think even a week or two without them starting is fine. It's not like a net massive issue. I think Edison, the good thing about him is he's a bit of a mini cash cow, right? You can use Edison.
Yeah.
He's got to come out as a dual transfer, right? Edison to the best 4.5 keeper, and then upgrade someone
Yeah. The million.
in your team, right? So you could use that to fund Saka in, or you could use that to fund, I don't know, a Solanke if he looks starting,
Yeah.
or a Trent in. That's probably
Yeah.
a kind of better example, right? So I think I'd kind of urge you not to. I think there's a logic with people looking at teams fix the biggest problem. I
Yeah.
don't think it's looking at where your high value players are and then optimizing that really. So I think goalkeepers, like I've done in the past, I'm quite happy to run with
Playing without a keeper.
without a starting keeper or defenders really. I think
Yeah.
that like it's kind of like, transfers even this year are quite valuable, right? I think it's like make sure you're using it to get in those high value, high return players really. But yeah, I think solid, especially given you didn't have Salah, it's kind of good that
Or
yeah,
Saka.
or Saka, yeah, you just kind of like squeeze that. So in that also shows that demonstrates the value of like getting the captaincy pick right with
Yeah.
Palmer. So
Absolutely.
obviously,
And I like your point there. Edison out as part of a double to get the money out.
or like
I like
a triple move or something like that. By him moving out in
Yeah.
isolation, as long as Fabianski has got a chance to start, isn't
that.
I
Rush.
don't think it's the wisest use of transfers really.
Yeah, I get
But
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, mate. I think solid week. You're in a good position. Like, yeah, kind of like 560k is a really nice place to be this time of the season. So I think it's looking good and a good
Okay.
structure. I think the risk is like two Brentford attackers now with a tough run coming up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm gonna be sorting that out very soon.
no, fair
Very
enough.
no hints. No hints, but that's getting sorted.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
obviously your first
my
hit of
team,
the season.
yeah, my team is very
Good one.
similar to yours, right? So I got 72 top points minus the 4, so net 68. But because I'm a lot lower ranked than you, I still squeezed a very small green, which is good considering I took a hit. So yeah, I would normally do this. So I took out Haaland and Semenyo for Salah and João Pedro. So I thought um, I like João Pedro's fixture, of course, and I thought I didn't like Haaland's fixture of Liverpool. So I thought if I was going to make that move, probably now is the best time ever. And like I was looking at my team, and Rogers came on because Solanke was injured, but I didn't like Rogers against Chelsea, and he did blank. He came on as an auto sub for me. So I was thinking I'm starting Rogers. Salah or Saka is a massive upgrade over Rogers. So like I was thinking like I reckon I could probably make up that -4 this week. And if I don't make it this week, like I've missed that opportunity. So that I'd have to hold Haaland kind of moving forward. So I think against I did want Saka because he had the better fixture. West Ham been awful defensively, but I did have that FOMO with Salah. But of course, like yeah, he's the best FPL asset. So
Yeah.
he got great assist. He got his penalty that seems to be a kind of common occurrence now. But I think he pulled in some great underlying numbers as well. So yeah, I feel a lot better with my team that I can like finally bit the bullet, got rid of Haaland, and got Salah in. I think the pinch point was probably the European games, right, where City were unconvinced. Like City's last couple have been unconvincing, and then just Liverpool were great again. So I thought now was the time. The home game versus the away game for kind of City versus kind of like Liverpool. That home fixture for Salah, I thought like yeah, he's gonna outperform Haaland. So I wouldn't normally do that, but I did it, and yeah, much happier with the balance of my team. And one of the trigger points was just the money I could reinvest. So I was looking at players I wanted to target the next 5, 6, 7 game weeks. Fernandez, we mentioned when we were bringing him in, we were bringing him in for like a 3 to 4 game week run where he had really nice fixtures, right? 2 promoted teams plus Everton, and that's kind of like partly because of Van Nistelrooy being the manager, but that's kind of like yeah, we've got the returns on that. He now has a really bad run for like 4 game weeks, right? So I think he's an expensive player that I'd want to be getting. He's okay to hold, right? But he's an expensive player until this game week, I was thinking he would be playing deeper. And I was like, who do I want him to get in for him? It's going to be Salah or Saka. So conveniently, if I made that move, the kind of Salah, João Pedro in, I had enough funds to upgrade Fernandes to Saka in subsequent weeks, right? So I thought I went for it and quite surprised and pleasantly surprised. I think I was net 9 points up, even with a -4. So happy I took that calculated risk. And the only mistake was going Salah over Saka, right? And that was a FOMO thing, but
Still did all right.
I'm happy. Happy with my
Still got
team.
a solid 13.
Yeah, definitely.
On Fernandes, 2 assists in a 4-0 win.
Mm-hmm.
Expected assist data 0.18.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit weird. I think Xerxes' goal, which was like an open net because Pickford had gone to the other side of the box, right? I think that was calculated, assumed he was like that. So I think sometimes these stats aren't totally accurate, but you say it's a bit of a overperformance. But ignoring that, his next 3 fixtures is what you got to look at.
So you got Arsenal. Arsenal's coming up, right? City's coming up for him.
Yeah.
So tough fixtures. But yeah, not bad. It's not bad for us both. Little green for you, small red for me, but we can live with that.
Yeah. So question for you, like obviously you were saying Salah's killing you every week. What's your
every week?
plan to get him in?
Every week. Well, I've now got money for him, so I can get him in. No spoilers. But we'll touch on very quickly the mini league. We are not doing very well in this at all. There are 77 in the league, and SM's back to the top. SM has been and a very apt name, How to Win FPL, with a solid game week of 94. A couple of players breaking 100 club this week as well. Omar's there, Mark Bleakley's there, but SM back to number 1 in the league, and Arwen just 9 points behind him. Arwen was top, down to second.
Oh, that's a tough game, isn't it?
Ep.57. Just SM is currently 9,491st in the world, and Arwen is down to 16k. But
that's got to be a João Pedro captaincy in it.
You have absolutely nailed it. So Arwen has Salah, has Palmer, has Bruno. Clearly listening to us with the Bruno pick, but is as captain João Pedro.
That's tough. All the right players as well.
Yeah. So, but we out of the 77, I am 31st, and you're 60th. So we'll move on. We won't move on. If you want to join the league, there will be a prize at the end. We still don't know what it is, but there'll be a prize for the winner. You can join us on the code T27ZGC. That's Tango 27 Zulu Golf Charlie. Get involved, and one of me and Matt will break the top 10 at some point this season. Fixture ticker very quickly, Matt. So we're looking at a little bit of a swing. Newcastle were on here. They still are, to be fair, but they're down to 10th. They were a lot higher than that. Man United were on this for a little while when we were talking. But now, big swings. So Chelsea, Wolves, Arsenal, Brighton, and Liverpool make up the top 5. And a lot of teams seem to be swinging towards what I'm going to call the holy trinity of having Saka, Palmer, and Salah, which is unsurprising given those fixtures. But who are you targeting?
Triple Arsenal. Looking at those fixtures, I think that's a really nice run there. I mean, like Palmer's like a no-brainer, right? I think I'm concerned that I don't have a great pathway to get to Jackson. I think Jackson looks really, really good. I'm kind of hoping Nkunku becomes there's a bit of rotation with him, but I don't think so. I think Jackson's looking great. I think he's a great shout, as is probably a Chelsea defender. Chelsea full stop looking pretty good. Low-key are looking kind of very, very good. So Palmer's no-brainer, as is Jackson seems pretty good. Wolves, they got a nice run. Again, they're looking kind of really difficult to put your finger on. Are they good or bad? And then Cunha, we've both got Cunha. He's had returns, but he's like, I think he's been getting a bit lucky with those returns.
He has absolutely
getting lucky with those returns. So I'm hoping, given the Wolves attack, which is decent, and given those fixtures, Ipswich, Leicester, West Ham, Everton. I'm hoping he can get a penalty or two in that run.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
to kind of buff him out. Arsenal, I think double, triple Arsenal seems like a bit of a no-brainer given the quality of the team, and there's not a bad fixture there at all, right? So it's a decent run when Fulham's Fulham are a good team, but like Fulham is your toughest fixture. It's a nice run there. So I think questions like which three. So presume Gabriel, like on injury aside, potential injury risk aside, he's a bit of a no-brainer. I'd probably assume for most people Saka is a no-brainer, given penalties and just like dominance. Is it a second attacker? Is it a second defender? I think some people have been quite smart with Timber. He's looking pretty good. I would prefer. I've got Saliba myself. I prefer to have Timber at this stage, given Ben White's extended injury. So yeah, I think Timber's a little bit of a shout as a differential, saving a little bit of money as well. There's got a lot to like here. Brighton. I think one or two players. Mitoma looks, as well as the obvious João Pedro is quite interesting. Then it's the standard like dunk for some potentially easy defensive games in that run. Who else do I like? Bowen as a differential is intriguing. I think that price point is tough. We mentioned like Salah. Liverpool got kind of mixed run, but they're very good, very dominant, right? So I think Salah is good, as is Trent. I know the price point is difficult to get to, but 6.9 now, so he's dropped down like 0.3 since like his peak, and like Bradley's out as well. So despite fixture congestion, you'd think he would start, and defensively they've been very strong. So there's a lot of really interesting options to pick from.
This could be a stupid question, given you bought Salah in when he was playing Man City. But if you didn't have him this game week, like me, and you see that he's got Newcastle away, would you get him this week, or would you wait for the Everton game?
Oh no, Newcastle aren't looking great.
Yeah,
they're looking average, aren't they?
Yeah, I get that. It's they're conceding goals. But obviously Bournemouth are on there as well. I appreciate you had Semenyo, but you've ended up getting rid of him, or you got rid of him for Salah. In all fairness, so you've got to make that comparison before anything else. If you had Semenyo, would he be a hold?
Again, he's not an issue. Like for me, I got rid of him because like I had Rodgers, my other midfield option that I was looking to get rid of. Rodgers is cheaper, so that money can always come in use. That money enables me to get Saka this week for Fernandez, which is kind of like a nice bonus. And like if you look at the rotations, like I think Rodgers has marginally had a better rotation when I could play him as my final attacker versus like a Cunha or a João Pedro. So like Semenyo is fine.
Yeah. He's got some nice fixtures there as well as Rodgers. The next three: Brentford at home, Southampton at home, Forest away. Maybe not isn't a green as much as maybe it could be, but Brentford at home, Southampton at home. So Rodgers got every chance of getting some returns there.
Yeah, but Semenyo is fine. It's just there's a lot of premium midfielders that like you just want to own, right? So like Palmer we're talking about Saka, we're talking about Salah. If we're looking at this list as well, who else is out there, right? Mitoma, I think, is a better option. Obviously, it's more expensive, but I prefer him than Semenyo. And then again, obviously, a lot more expensive, but Bowen is probably a nicer option as well.
So whilst we're touching on it, and I'm going to talk about the following fixtures for Chelsea, by the way, but whilst we're on that, somebody that isn't on the list is Brentford, because in the next six, Brentford have Villa away, Newcastle, and they're terrible away from home, by the way. I think they're 19th in the division, if I'm not mistaken. They've had 1 point on the road all season, but they've got Villa away, then Newcastle, Chelsea away, Forest, Brighton away, Arsenal, Southampton away, Man City, Liverpool. Like that's their next 8 fixtures. Are you considering Mbeumo out for any of those midfielders you've just chatted
on? I think he's okay. I mean, I know like we talk about stats quite a lot. His stats the last 4 have been really bad. Like last game, we didn't have any shots, right? Which is a bit concerning. However, he's got a history of just being a great asset his season averages are really, really good. He's on penalties, he's on set pieces. And like if you're looking to be optimistic, the games against the better teams could work in his favor. He does score again. He does have history of scoring against good teams. Like his typical goal is a breakaway goal, right? Brentford will be a lot more compact, a lot deeper, and will work on the counter against these teams, right? And they might play. They played 4 at the back recently, and they might go back to the 5 at the back that they sometimes play, which I think that means that Umbumo is like properly in a striking position rather than on a wing or a bit deeper. He's been the most forward player for Brentford as well in recent games, despite not taking shots. So I mean, he's not a huge issue. It depends who you're getting in for. Would I go to Bowen or Matoma? I don't know. It seems quite a luxury move. I'm sure I'm sure people have got more problems or better options to do than that. If you're going to Saka, yeah, of course, that's like a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, I get it. So it
I'm
depends on
cool holding it. Like I've got no issues.
Nice. Well, just to touch on that point of Chelsea, and you mentioned a wait for Jackson to try and double up on that attack. So you can see on the screen for anybody that's watching. But for those that are listening, Southampton, Tottenham, Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich in their next 6. But following the Ipswich game, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Wolves, and West Ham in
it's a great run.
3 of the next 4. It's absolutely insane. So I think you're holding Palmer until probably all season, but at least until February the 15th. He will be going nowhere out of your team, I wouldn't imagine, Matt.
I mean, you got striker issues, right? So I think Jackson should be a consideration for you if he doesn't block other players. It's just if like Nkunku's going to start the odd game.
Yeah, Wissa, I've got the money in the bank, and Wissa needs moving on. Even though he's done me well. Their fixtures are turning, so I don't want double Brentford attack. Is what's in my head. Talking about attacks, unsurprisingly, an attacker tops the best captaincy option. It is Haaland. Now I get it because it's Haaland, and his stats have still been up, even though he hasn't been scoring the points. But he's playing Forest. Forest have been to Anfield, didn't concede. They went to Stamford Bridge and only conceded 1. Now, granted, they did go to Arsenal and concede 3. But defensively, their expected goals conceded per 90 is 1.07 this season. They have an absolutely solid defence. And you'll notice the other 4 that are seen as the best captaincy options are playing much worse defences. If you had Alan, would you be captaining me?
Yeah, probably. Just.
Ahead of Palmer?
I'm not viewing it as clear cut as that. It's the home game works. Then, like Palmer, obviously, I think you mentioned yourself before. Like his form it does seem to differ home versus away, but it is Southampton, right? They're just like such a bad team, aren't they? So, it's away though. It's away. Salah's obviously away to a better team. Saka home to United. I think I don't know if I'd rate that higher than Salah's, but yeah, I'd rate this the top 5 probably in that order. So yeah, Haaland, Palmer, Salah, Saka, to Watkins. I've got Palmer as the captaincy at the moment with Saka as my vice, rather than Salah. But I'd probably go Haaland if I had him. I think.
Yeah, Palmer will play. But yeah, I mean that's that you can see in terms of the teams that they're playing. The Southampton's defense expected goals per 92.3. So you've got to think that there's going to be some gold in that. But Palmer, they're looking better going forward, but they're still like in late, but they're still conceding. Did they just drew 1-1 somewhere? Did they at the weekend?
Yeah, well, Bryson, as you know, like João Pedro blanked, didn't he? But like, they should have won that game. They had that weird disallowed goal, right, where there was an obstruction from Armstrong, I think, where he was like apparently intervening in play. So they should have won that game. Brighton were poor actually, but it doesn't matter how good they are going forward, right? In a random game, it's like how good are they defensively, and they're still playing out from the back despite having really bad players. So
and Chelsea's tails are up. So consider.
Yeah.
We'll move on to something that I don't want to really talk about because you have taken a 6-4 lead.
Nice.
And if you win again this week, mate, none of us have ever been 3 up.
It's a bit of a gap in it. It's probably worth saying as well. This is from 2 game weeks ago, right? Because Evan Nielsen, I was looking at it. I was like, have you missed a 1 there? He's got 12 points, not 2 points. But this is from game week
Fortunately for me, it's
11,
for
wasn't it?
2 game
'Cause we
weeks to
didn't,
go.
didn't
Yeah,
we?
game
Yeah.
week
So
12. Unfortunately for
that's
me,
wicked.
because we didn't get the chance to catch up last game week. So
And you went
otherwise, I
first,
would have
didn't you?
won.
Last time we caught up, you went Evan Nilsson over Ødegaard. Okay.
I did, and then we had the discussion, and I could have had both because if I went Odegaard, you wouldn't have picked Evan Nielsen anyway. So I shot myself in the foot. What can I say? But yeah,
No,
6 points for Odegaard, 0 for the Kevin De Bruyne. He did come off the bench, but then he got booked, so that gives you 6 total. But unfortunately for me, Evan Nielsen, and I got the call right with Nunes. I was on the fence with Nunes, wasn't I? Because I was like, well, does he start?
yeah,
Does Gakpo start? Does Diaz start? Nunes played 89 minutes against Southampton, and despite Liverpool getting 3 goals, he was not involved. So 4 points total for me gives you a 6-4 win, and you get to pick first.
nice. This week was tough. I think this week is the toughest one we've seen. So I was looking at Ødegaard's now 5.1, 5.2%, so it doesn't meet our 5% or less threshold. Unfortunately, you'd be my top pick by far. Bowen was like 7%. Eze was nearly 8%. So I was looking at some of these players that I thought kind of like I could like Vardy the same. So yeah, it was like really slim picking. So really looking at, I had to go for a Bournemouth attacker. Cliver, he got 20 points on the weekend, but he's not going to get a hat trick of penalties again, right? So I think Evan Nilsson, he's been a regular, making regular appearances on our differentials. I think I'm going to go in.
Yeah. Just off the back of a 12-pointer. Did he get 3 assists?
Yeah. No, he's looking.
Not bad.
I'm surprised he wasn't on pens. Like I'm surprised Cliver was, but like his non-penalty stats have been really good. So yeah, Evan Nilsson for me.
A good pick. As you can tell, I like him because I had him last week.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick for my first one somebody you've picked before on this, and that is Strand Larsen.
Yeah, nice.
3.3% owned, playing Everton, who have just conceded 4 at Old Trafford. But Strand Larsen's returned in 5 of his last 7 games, so not bad at all. So yeah, I'm gonna stick him for my first.
I like it. So I was looking at a Palace player. So I was looking at Eze, but he's there's lots of dead teams that are still got him. So because they're playing Ipswich away, I believe. But yeah, Mateta's like 2.5% owned. So I reckon he's started the last couple as well. Played the full 90. So yeah, Mateta is a decent shout.
Can he bring back last season's run when he scored about 50 points every week?
That's weird,
I hope
when
not,
it was him and
obviously.
Muniz, right, from Fulham, like
Yeah.
3 weeks in this season
Absolutely
was
nowhere.
like awful.
Okay, so Evan Nielsen and Mateta against Strand Larsen, and I picked somebody right, and it's a big name. It's a big name, but he's playing awful, and his team haven't won in 7. So have a guess. It's Man City. They're at home to Forest, and I'd like the Forest defense, but City have to show up at some point. They're too
Was it a
good not
strike?
to.
Right, it's not Haaland, is it? What was it a midfielder?
It's a midfielder. It's your
Doku?
least favorite FPL asset of all time.
Oh, I know.
Up there, him and Digne maybe. Phil
Foden
Foden.
there. Yeah.
Phil Foden. He's 4.7% owned, which surprises me a bit considering how good he was last season. I thought he might just be in some dead teams, but 4.7%. And yeah, I'm just looking at the fixtures and thinking City are home to Forest. And as much as Forest are playing well, City have to turn it on at some point.
I think it's worth. I think that's worth a bet. Yeah, I think that's it. It's a
Yeah,
decent shout. Didn't consider it.
punt on him. Yeah. So from Odegaard, KDB, and I mean maybe not Nunes, but I'd like to back Nunes. Some three top players there. Well, then no, but on Nielsen, Mateta, and Strand Larsen, plus Phil Foden. So we've got one in
No
there.
top players there.
Yeah, not quite the same, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, it'll be 6-5, if not 7-4, and for the first time ever, one of us will take a 3-point lead. No pressure, mate. But yeah, game week 12 reveal, and it should be 14. We're not in game week 12. I'll update that next time. But game week 14 reveal, my friend.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
We're recording this on the Monday night. The transfer deadline, game week window shuts tomorrow evening, Tuesday. So it's like
Tomorrow.
a short turnaround.
Tomorrow
So
at 6, I
I'm
believe.
set. I'm set with my team. I came in. Yeah. So I came in with one free transfer. I've made that transfer. I did Bruno to Saka. Reason why I did that was, Bruno, he served me well the last 3-4 game weeks. It was always a short-term pick. He's now got a horrible run. Saka's now got a really nice extended run. If I didn't make the move, now I'd have been outpriced, and that's something I wanted like long-term for a long time. So I made that move kind of like quickly. I made that yesterday evening. So I think I don't think they changed in price, but I saw price prediction site suggests that Saka could have been kind of rising, but he didn't. But hey, he's in my team now. But I'm quite happy with my team. I think I've got a few injury doubts in Gabriel and Solanke, but I'm quite happy about my bench options. They're okay. So like if Solanke doesn't play, Rodgers against Brentford at home comes in, which is that's a nice little option. If Gabriel doesn't play, Greaves or Van der Berg comes on against Palace and Villa, respectively. They're not the worst. They're not the worst kind of games or players. And Lewis, of course, yeah. Lewis for City is a rotation risk, right? So, but I'm quite happy to run that risk. And yeah, if he doesn't play, my bench comes on. If he gets subbed on, I'm fine with that. I'm fine running that risk. It still looks like he's playing regular minutes and regular 90 minutes of that for City. So yeah, my team going through it. Fabianski away to Leicester. I'll start him over Flecken against Villa, just because Villa are a lot better than Leicester, right? Defense, yeah, double Arsenal at the moment, Saliba or Gabriel. Gabriel, obviously, could be an injury doubt. Lewis at home to Forest. My bench, yeah, Greaves and Van der Berg to come in if any of those guys are out. Midfield, Palmer and Bumo, Salah and Saka, with Palmer captain and Saka vice. Some people I think are probably considering as a debate of Rodgers starting over Mbumo. I just think Villa really work in the favour of players like Mbumo. Their high line is ridiculous. So I'm banking on getting at least one attacking return. Then yeah, forward line all the way. Cunha at Everton, João Pedro at Fulham, and Solanke at Bournemouth. So none of those games are great. I think all of them, given the I kind of rate them just above Rodgers.
Yeah.
Who knows? I might bring in
Potentially.
Rodgers for Pedro, or he'll probably start if
That's,
Slangate kind of not starting. But yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
okay. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that team. Yeah, I'm okay with that team.
I'm assuming like the obviously Pedro's pen taker, Cunha's pen taker, Rogers. I don't think is the pen taker. I'm sure. No, Villa had a pen this season.
It would be McGinn or Watkins, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you'd imagine. Solanke isn't like we found out recently. Son's the penalty taker for Spurs, not Solanke. But apparently the minutes to get managed for Son, I saw Postecoglou said something about limiting his play time. So I'm
Yeah,
assuming if
well,
Son's
the same
not on
goes
the
for
pitch
Solanke
playing,
really as well,
he's the
right?
pen.
He
Yeah,
was
true.
so. I mean, yeah, net Solanke is better than Rodgers.
Yeah. Yeah. Get that. And then
Um,
the Fabianski to bring in a clean sheet against new manager bounce.
No, for sure. But it's probably worth saying, obviously, quick turnaround to game week 15 as well. That's
Correct.
obviously less than a week away. I don't think either of us going to be able to make a recording for various reasons. So, I'll just probably talk about my team going into that game week. So, obviously, there's an option to roll, or there's an option to just look at upgrading my defense in some shape or form. I think that's kind of like looking a bit shady. So, if I make a move on the weekend, I'd probably roll. But if I was to make a move, it would probably be like a Dunk or a Concert in as a long-term defender for someone, like a Lewis maybe.
Yeah.
I'll probably roll. But I thought I'd just comment on that because
No,
I
that's
know we're
what,
not catching up before the next deadline. So
yeah, it's my fault for everybody that's listening. I will not be in the country. I don't have holidays all
no,
the
it was
time,
my
which I would like
fault.
to
I
do,
thought
but
we
well,
agreed it's my fault as well. We've just both been
that's
too
fine.
poor.
Yeah, we're both away. We're both doing
Yeah.
different bits and bobs, but we'll be back. We'll be back next week ahead of game week 16. Then we'll pick back up. Then. But I like the team, man. I like the team. I think that the transfer makes a lot of sense. Let's see how you get on. I like it. There's a shock for you because I haven't told you. The screen's a little bit different to yours. I got it off the internet, not the phone. But I've made my transfer. I've already done one. Bruno's out. Salah's in. I've got fed up of not owning him. Just
Good.
sick of it.
Good.
So he's been bought in ahead of. Did I get him before the price rise? I don't even know. I just did it. I just did it whenever I did it. So he's in ahead of Newcastle away. But to run through my team, I've got Edison in net. I'm expecting him to be dropped, but I'm fine with Fabianski coming on away at Leicester, so I won't be making any moves there. I've then started Mikolenko at home to Wolves, as well as the two Arsenal defenders that I've got. And then I'm playing a 4-5-2. So I've got Cunha and Pedro up top, same as yourself. And then Bumo in the midfield. But I've decided to start Rodgers over Wissa. I just don't want to be all eggs in one basket for with Brentford away from home because their away form, as I mentioned before, is one of the worst in the division. So I think I'm just going to stick with one Brentford attacker, and I'm just going with Mbumo because he's the penalty taker. And I don't mind, but Brentford's defense isn't good either. So I'm hedging my bets. I want that to be 2-2, 3-3, and Boomer and Rogers to be involved. And I also think Semenyo's a better pick than Wissa, which is why I'm starting him because I don't trust the Tottenham defense. And if
It's
you look at
quite
games like,
tight, isn't it?
yeah, like if you look at games like Bournemouth at home seem to pull out results. So when they played City, beat them 2-0, he was involved. Arsenal, they beat City 2-1 or 2-0. They beat Arsenal as well,
Yeah.
right? And he was involved. So for that reason, I feel like he might do well against Tottenham. And they'll be on a bounce after their victory against Wolves. So yeah, that's where we're going. So I've benched Wissa, Van der Berg, and Aina, who's away at City. Captain on Palmer, vice on Salah, and that's how I'll probably leave it. But yeah,
Yeah.
who would you be starting there?
I'd probably be tempted to bench Semenyo or Rogers for Visa. Visa's like putting in his expected goal involvement per 90 is 0.8.
Is it? Jeez,
Yeah.
that good.
It's mad, right?
I mean, he's done me well. He has done
And
me well since I bought him, to
0.75
be
of
fair.
them are goals. Like he's not inflating this through like assists, which are like neither here nor there. Like so yeah, he's putting like Palmer, Saka, Salah-esque stats up. And he's getting the returns. So like I mean
Yeah.
Villa away isn't they haven't been like watertight have they? I'd be playing them over someone.
So you bench, even gun to your head, who are you benching? I won't hold you to it.
Probably Rogers.
Rogers, yeah.
Not,
I like Semenyo against Tottenham. I like Semenyo. Semenyo's going nowhere.
yeah, probably
He's
probably
something.
Rogers. But like, yeah, I'd challenge yourself on the Visa kind of like pick.
Feels weird that because then I'm playing two attacking Brentford players
It doesn't
against a
matter though. It's
Champions
like
League
it's
club.
who do you think the better player is? Like for who's going to score most points in isolation? Visa versus Semenyo versus Rogers. I think I'll exclude João Pedro and Cunha because they're on penalties. But I think if they weren't on penalties, he'd be better than them.
Whistle would be, yeah.
Yeah, better than João like Cunha, maybe not, but João Pedro against Fulham away, I'd kind of rate Visa above. But yeah, he's been crazily good. He's been very good for you as
Yeah.
well.
He has. He's done me well. He's done me well. I'm doing him dirty, benching him, right? That's what you're telling me. He's popped in with a few goals and assists for me. So maybe I should
No,
give
for
him
sure.
a. The only other thing I've been thinking is taking a -4. I could bring in Saka. I could bring in Odegaard, who seems to be putting up some nice stats. It'd probably be for. I mean, it could be for anybody. I've got 5.8 million in the bank, so it could be for any midfielder. In reality, I could get rid of Rodgers as my cheapest, but I can upgrade him to a Saka if I wanted to do so. I don't think I'm going to. There's something about Man United and against the big teams, they sometimes put in like just overperform in those games. They beat City in the cup. Did they beat City in the league? Maybe not.
Will they get
I don't think
battered?
it's -4. Yeah, they got battered. They got battered by
As you should
Liverpool
have.
3-0.
Yeah, yeah.
We did them. At their grounds as well. But I don't know. I just don't think it's worth a -4. But that you might talk me around.
Uh, Probably not.
Yeah, I think I'll keep it. And then same as you. So going into game week 15, I'm probably going to roll. I can get away with a pretty steady team for that game week.
No Saka.
Yeah, because they're away at Fulham, right? Next game week, and I
Yeah.
like the players I've got in the midfield. I feel like away at Fulham is one of those games where Arsenal win 1 or 2-0, and he might get the goal. Don't get me wrong, he might he
Yeah.
might might come out with a 9, 10 pointer. I don't see him putting in an 18. And I quite like the players that I've got around him. So
No,
yeah,
fair,
yeah,
fair enough. Fair enough. No, it's looking good. I'm glad you made that. I'm glad you didn't like piss about with like defender transfers or
yeah,
goalkeeper transfers.
yeah. Yeah, come on, I just go.
See
I
what
moved
exotic
Edison
choices you made
to
in
to
defence. You've
Orte.
moved Aina to 8 Nori or something like
Yeah, you know what? If I was going to bring anybody in for Aina, I'd bring in Cucurella.
Okay.
He seems to be getting forward. Seems to be getting forward.
I don't hate it.
And Chelsea's run is incredible. So he might come in at some point. Future planning right there. But it won't be this weekend either. Because I think they've got Tottenham, if I'm not mistaken. It's like their last big game before that blocker green. So I'll hold out for that one.
Yeah,
But yeah,
nice.
that's where I'm at.
Nice.
That's where I'm at, pal. That is where I'm at. So that's where we're both at. Because we've come to the end of our time together. Just in time, because I can hear my other half sounding like she's dishing up the evening meal. That was said weirdly. Don't know why I didn't call it tea as a northerner. Uh, but appreciate your time, mate. Appreciate your time. Enjoy your time away as well over the
Yeah,
next
mate. Well,
couple of days. Have a good time with that, and I'll do the same where I'm off to. And excited? Do you like it when it's like this quick, mate? 7 days, 8 days, 3 game weeks.
yeah, mate. It feels good. Well, when you're Salah in your team, you don't have
Oh yeah,
Haaland. It feels good,
finally.
right?
Yeah, you'll see. You might have noticed the name of the episode. Finally joining the Salah train because it's about bloody time, man. He's been
I,
causing nothing but pain.
I mean, what I would say is up until the last 2 game weeks, he's been getting incredibly like obviously he's had penalties as well the last 2 game weeks, but like those were the two like hall worthy performances. Before that, he was getting very fortunate. He had a kind of run from game week 6 to game week 11 where it was like, wow, anything you
Yeah,
do turns into a goal or assist, right? So, I mean, I'm sounding bitter. Obviously, like for both of us, it was a mistake getting rid of him for in game week 6. I think both of us thought Diaz could cover him in a weird way, and he
yeah,
won't be a captaincy option. That was a glaring mistake. But he has been on like a pretty lucky run. Up and yeah, the Southampton game obviously was super dominant, and the same against City, right? So, um, yeah,
well, there's something for you that I was reading today on Salah. I don't know whether this is the best ever start to an FPL season from any player. I'd like to know that.
can't be
If
far
anybody
off it,
knows,
can
put it
it?
in the comments, please.
Uh,
It's which, sorry?
can't be far off.
It's got to be up there. It's got to be up there somewhere because he is on 133 points after 13 game weeks. 133, right? It's his best ever start to a season. He was previously his previous high after this amount of games is 131. He is 38 points better off than the season in which he returned 303 points, which is the most ever set in an FPL season. Not to say he's going to carry on with the form he's going, but he's on for it. The season he finished on 131 after 13 games, he got 265 in the end. But he missed some of that season through AFCON.
Hmm.
So yeah, he's doing pretty well. Yeah. Oh no, wait, it is a record. Best ever start to a season of any player after 13 games. Him with 131. In second place is him with 100. Sorry, he's on 133. Second place is him with 131. Third place, Haaland, last season with 117.
Wow.
Yeah. Stats for
Pretty.
you. I know you didn't ask, but you got them anyway.
Oh, it was interesting. I thought you were going to play a guessing game then, but
I should have. I should have. I
no
apologise
time for
for it.
fun. No time for fun. Um,
He's the king of FPL for a reason, right?
no,
Um,
I was
but
trying to
yeah,
think of
good.
any other players that would have fit that. I was thinking maybe a Kane by yours was a slow starter, right? Mahrez started like a train, didn't he? The year Leicester won the
Leicester,
league.
especially when he's at Leicester. Yeah. And Poyet,
Yeah.
Poyet did it for a bit with West Ham.
I thought it was like start. It was a great season, wasn't it? Like I think he was like spread across the season. Hazard might have had some runs or Aguero, but he was always injured. So
Yeah. And then the other one that I can think of that started off really well and dropped off, the Michu for Swansea.
Oh yeah. Although
I mean,
I think
he
that
was
was
like
rather than like a 15-week period, like Salah is now. I think that was like
6 weeks.
5, wasn't it? Yeah. It was like, hey,
Yeah. It was
brace
like
against Arsenal,
it
and
was mental.
then stopped. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good. I'm
Well,
glad. I'm with you, mate. I love it when it's loads of game weeks together, just bang, 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 bang. So it's so yeah. Hopefully we'll but when we next catch up, 2 game weeks will be passed. Hopefully it'll be 6-5 on Matt versus Dave, not 7-4, and we'll both see some green arrows now that we're proud Salah owners.
was never in doubt, was it?
Never in doubt. That's always going to happen. We're just late to the late to the party.
Very
He's
late
now
to
the
it.
most owned player in the game, by the way. He's the most owned player. He's taken over Haaland this week. So yeah, we're finally there. But
Better
on that
late than
note,
never.
exactly that. On that note, I'll let you go, pal, and I'll catch up with you next week. And yeah, see you then, mate.
Thank you, mate. Good to catch up.
As always. And to you, the listener, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you've learned something. If not, then we're sorry that we didn't have Salah earlier, but we're finally gone. We're finally on the train. But I'm sure you did. So please do give us a like, give us a subscribe, and leave your comments. It does help us out. It helps other people to find us as well. But whatever you do this week, whether you're bringing in Salah or bringing in Saka or somebody completely different, let us know in the comments. And best of luck with it. May your arrows be green. I will speak to you all next week. Thanks.